Morning, crap to cream. I've now been doing a couple of changes on my test engine. So those of you who've watched videos previous to this would know that I had installed a couple of SUs on this. The later HS4s, I think, or HIFs, sorry. So taking the HIFs off, and I've now mounted the Weber 3236 DGV that I had on the other engine that I found the problem with the choke. So hopefully this will run a bit better now on this engine. So it's installed. This is blanked off because that's the brake servo. I'm not putting a choke on it. I'm just going to run an accelerator, and the accelerator is a rigid cable. It's not one of those flexible cables. I've run the fuel line and it runs a bit close to the exhaust. If I run it down here, so I've run it up the top there. Obviously the fuel, so this is the vent, crankcase vent going to the carburetor, and yeah, so, and then the Dizzy vacuum line connects down here. So there you go. And with this one, the manifolds are both the same thickness, so I don't have to use any step washers, so they've all been tightened up. These two down here are a bit difficult to get to, and you can't get a torque wrench on them, so they are just suitably tight. Alright, I'll run this up a bit later on. I'm going to go up to the other shed now where I've continued on with the installation of the 45D COE. So here we are, brief walk up to the other shed, and now I'll just go through what I've done with installing this 45D COE onto this engine. So I'm not sure exactly where I got up to without going back to the other videos. So underneath here the main jet is done. The idle jet I'm waiting for to arrive, hasn't arrived as yet. When I started or turned the ignition on, this fuel pipe leaked significantly. So I cleaned the floor underneath the car. That's all done now. And I put two new annealed copper washers in there, so that's fixed that. I have got clearance between here. I've got like a little finger, and because as the mechanism operates it goes down, not up, so I've got plenty of room on top of that. The oil catch can has arrived, so I've now attached that crankcase breather into there, and then this goes to grade through the floor down there on the other side of the hose. Don't like this. I'm going to get another piece of pipe. It doesn't look very good, but it came with the oil catch can. So the oil catch can has a little bit of a dipstick here, so you can pull that out and check the oil level inside the catch can. And then something you have to remember is that the bottom here unscrews off, so that unscrews off there. I won't take it off now. So you have to leave enough room underneath to be able to get that off, so you can drain the oil out if there's any oil in there. The Dizzy and the servo lines are connected. The choke line is now connected, and with the choke, so because I had the problem with the other choke, so this screw here it moved in the fitting, so it allowed the cable to bend up and down, or down depending on when I opened and closed the choke, and that was part of the problem. So what I've done with this one is I've made it a fixed fitting, so the cable clamps onto the actual linkage, so that it can't turn and then this bend and not turn the choke off properly. So this one works fine now, so that's all good. So I'll see what else arrives in the next few hours, because at the moment I'm just short of the idle jets, which are 55 F9s. I had 50 F8s in there, so I'm going to put 55 F9s in there. That's what's recommended. So I'm just waiting for them to arrive. I would have possibly gone for a start, but I'm taking the idle jets out one of them got slightly damaged, so I won't be using that. But apart from that, yeah, as soon as those jets arrive, I'll give the engine a spin up and see what it sounds like, see what it runs like. I'll get my colour tune into the plug holes and see what the colour of the mixture looks like, possibly adjust. I've been watching a few videos on how to adjust the mixtures, the idle mixtures and things on the Weber 45D SOE, so I'll go through a bit of that. So that's all I've got right now. As always, thank you very much indeed for the subscriptions. Thank you very much indeed for the comments. Always appreciated. I try to reply to them all. And yeah, thank you very much for everything. I'll speak to you soon. And if I don't, then I'll just say bye for now. And I'll catch you on the next video. Hello, Crap to Cream. Just wanted to dispel a couple of things that the reviewers have said about the Tasman. So one of them is the ease with which you can get in and out, and one reviewer made it look virtually impossible to get into the car at the height that it is. So I will now demonstrate that it is relatively straightforward. I'm actually used to getting in and out of four-wheel drives and things like that, so it's no problem at all. The egress is a different matter. That's why I'm getting the old steps fitted, but on this occasion I will just show you what it looks like to get into the car. Getting out is relatively straightforward as well. However, the side steps that I'm getting fitted will save you rubbing on this here all the time as you get out of the car. The other thing that was noted on the Tasman was the sun visor and the size of it and obscuring the view forward. So if you put the sun visor there, yes, your view is restricted. However, it has these things up here called hinges, and if you push it forward, your view is restored to normal and adjustable. So whilst this does look rather large, I find it very useful because it is big enough to cover the sun, and it is adjustable to, and then you just put it back where it came from. How hard is that? So while people try and make things look really bad, on some occasions they're not as bad as people make out. So I just wanted to put that out there because I get a bit tired of people picking on things. Anyway, and also people say it looks ugly. Well, from my perspective, looking this way, it looks just fine. And I'm getting rid of the scratchy surface here, which is also mentioned quite a lot because I drive a lot and I always go like this all the time. So I'm getting a dash mat, and then that'll get rid of that little issue, and it'll also protect the surface and stop it getting sun baked in the Australian sun. So there you go. Just a couple of little things that I thought I'd point out. Just like to level to balance the scales a little bit when people are being a bit negative. I prefer to put a bit of a positive slant on things. Alright, that'll do. Enjoy the video. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, and as always, thank you very much indeed. Bye for now.